This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10:4-6 et sec, notice of which was sent to the record in Star Ledger and was posted on the municipal bulletin board.
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Here.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Here.
Mayor LaBrus.
Here, would everybody please rise for the flag salute? Diego got a flag for us? I pledge allegiance
Allegiance.
To the
flag of the
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, I have a proclamation here I'm going to read. All right. Yes, many of us know that October is Breast Cancer Month. And it reads, whereas breast cancer affects hundreds of thousands of women and thousands of men annually, and whereas breast cancer is typically detected either during a screening examination before symptoms have developed or after symptoms have developed when a man or woman feels alone. And whereas breast cancer is about 100 times more common in women than men, and women are at increased risk as they get older. And whereas breast cancer is often hereditary, and individuals whose family history puts them at increased risk for breast cancer should discuss with their doctor or qualified health professional the proper prevention and early diagnosis strategies. And whereas since the early 1990s, the pink ribbon handed out and spread by the Susan G. Komen Foundation has been the symbol for the fight against breast cancer. Whereas October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, an opportunity to increase awareness of the disease and to encourage individuals to have a plan to detect the disease in its early stages. And whereas it is vital that those affected by cancer have access to quality, affordable care, and that research of all forms of breast cancer continue to be vigorously supported. Now, therefore, I, John P. LaBrus, Jr., Mayor of the City of Hackensack, along with the members of the City Council, do hereby recognize the month of October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the City of Hackensack. I'd like to give a shout out to all my coworkers at the Betty Torricelli Breast Center at Hackensack. They do a great job. They're doing a lot this month, celebrating Breast Cancer Month, but they do a wonderful job over there. So shout out to them. So thank you. And with that, we'll turn it over to Ted.
Okay, this evening, the city manager is going to read his report, but before we do that, we normally put out a quarterly newsletter, and one of the considerations is that because of COVID-19, the exchange of information has been difficult for the city to present to its residents and to the public to keep them aware of what we're doing. So the suggestion was made that maybe we make a little video defining what we are accomplishing and what we're doing, so people have the ability to understand what goes on, because unfortunately, when you pick up the newspaper, you read about COVID-19 and the election. So I would ask our IT department to play this video in its entirety. It's not very long, but I think it gives the residents and the people a shot. Thank you.
And I'm paused. Come here. I want you to watch this.
No volume, Diego.
No volume, Diego.
You can't hear it?
No.
Diego, start it over with volume.
Put it back.
There is volume over here. You can't hear.
It's not on there. Call me if it starts.
Hold on, I gotta stop.
Folks, bear with us. We got some technical difficulties. Hopefully we can get this resolved.
Maybe he can play the video at a lower resolution.
Diego could play it at a lower resolution.
Yes, just a second. Some reason it's not coming up. Oh, there it is.
So I'm going to go to the city manager's report and I'll give Diego a little period of time. Maybe he can get this up and in play. This is the city manager's report for October 20, 2021. The elections section of our website is up and running at the hackensack.org/election. All election information will be posted on here, including important dates, polling locations, drop box locations. 2, please be advised the census data collection has been extended till October 31st. Please ensure to respond so your community has the correct data for the future funding opportunities to the city. 3, a Veterans Day ceremony will be held on the green November 11th at 11 o'clock. And proper PPE should be worn by all attendees. 4, the Rotary Club will be collecting non-perishable food items at the Veterans Day ceremony on November 11th. Please bring your items for donation if you plan to attend. 5, the city is hosting a pumpkin carving contest. Submission deadline is October 31st. Please refer to hackensack.org for additional details. The winner will be announced at the November 9th council meetings. 6, the city of Hackensack is also hosting a Halloween Boo Through, which is a drive-through, on October 31st from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Fashini Park. Please refer to hackensack.org for additional details. 7, the city will be hosting an annual Slam Dunk the Junk event the weekend of November 13th and 14th. We have now split our resources with 100 people coming one day and 100 the next. We have a 2-day event this year so we can properly social distance and accommodate local participants. Additional details will be available on hackensack.org. Okay, Diego, do you have any good news?
You're muted, Diego.
Coming up.
Deb.
Hello, this is Mayor John LaBrosse, and I want to welcome you to our first Hackensack Progress
Hello.
Report video. The City Council and I will be discussing.
Yeah, it's not queued up right.
Are interested in.
Can you guys hear it?
Hello, this is Mayor John LaBrosse, and I want to welcome you
Yeah, it's not.
Low volume.
Is there sound?
to the City Council.
And the movement of the,
Let it load, let it load.
no good.
No volume.
No volume, Diego.
All right, let's can this for now.
And that's it for now.
Okay, Diego, if you can work on that, the mayor will obviously move forward with the public meeting.
Okay, go ahead.
Maybe we could try again before we open the public session if he figures it out.
Okay,
You might want to send the link somewhere else and then try to open it there.
Maybe call Bob Swade or someone, see if they could help you.
Yeah, Bob Swade's on the meeting, so you can reach
Maybe
out.
Okay,
All right, let's start the meeting. You ready, Deb?
Diego, you can stop the video, please.
Diego, can you hear us?
Para el video y vamos al regular meeting. No funciona, páralo.
Diego, do you hear us?
Yeah, I already told you.
Okay.
All right. Deb, are you ready to go, Deb?
I'm ready.
All right, resolution 392-20.
This is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance number 39-2020, an ordinance to amend chapter 170 of the code of the city of Hackensack, vehicles and traffic, to make the north side of Clay Street from First Street to Second Street a snow emergency, no parking area. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Okay, I need a motion to open to the public, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Okay, I'm gonna give you.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Okay, anybody from the public who'd like to speak, please give your name to the clerk. Seeing no one from the audience, motion to close to the public.
Hold it right now. Give you the number. 1 second.
Need a motion to close to the public.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Need a motion to adopt the ordinance, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack County of Bergen and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 39-2020 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 393-20.
This is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance 40-2020, an ordinance to amend chapter 170 of the code of the City of Hackensack, vehicles and traffic, to add a new handicap parking space in section 49.2, parking for the handicap. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Okay. Need a motion to open to the public, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg. Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Anybody from the public would like to speak to this ordinance and this ordinance only, please unmute your device. Give the clerk your name. Hearing no one from the public, motion to close to the public.
Offer.
Need a second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Need a motion to adopt the ordinance.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack County of Bergen and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 40-2020 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 394-20.
This is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance number 41-2020, a bond ordinance providing for various 2020 capital improvements by and in the City of Hackensack in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, appropriating $5,365,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $5,109,500 bonds or notes of the city to finance part of the cost thereof. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Need a motion to open to the public.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Anybody from the public who'd like to speak to 394-20, please come forward. Unmute your device and give your name to the clerk. Hearing no one from the public,
Does this have
Motion
to
to
do with,
close. I'm
um,
sorry.
yeah, hi, I'm sorry. Does this have to do with the shade tree being installed in the community or no? This is not part of that?
No,
Oh,
No,
I'm
it's a
sorry. Okay. Okay, never mind. All right.
I'll offer.
Second.
roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims,
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia,
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Motion to adopt the ordinance, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims,
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack County of Bergen and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 41-2020 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 395-20.
This is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance 42-2020, a bond ordinance providing for various improvements to the stormwater and sanitary sewer systems by and in the City of Hackensack and the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, appropriating $3,050,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $3,050,000 bonds or notes to finance the cost thereof. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Thank you. Need a motion to open to the public, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims,
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia,
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Anybody from the public who'd like to speak to Resolution 395-20, please unmute your device and give the clerk your name. Hearing no members from the public, motion to close to the public.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims,
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia,
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Need a motion to adopt the ordinance, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims,
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia,
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack County of Bergen and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 42-2020 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 396-20.
This is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance 43-2020, an ordinance approving traffic and parking enforcement for block 308.01, lot 3, formerly City Lot C. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Need a motion to open to the public, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims,
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia,
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Anybody from the public who'd like to speak to Resolution 396-20, please unmute your device and give your name to the clerk. Hearing no one from the public, motion to close to the public.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims,
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia,
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Need a motion to adopt the ordinance, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims,
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia,
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack County of Bergen and State of New Jersey that ordinance number 43-2020 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 397-20.
This is a resolution for final adoption of ordinance 44-2020, an ordinance authorizing the private sale of certain property owned by the City of Hackensack not required for public purposes pursuant to NJSA 40A:12-13B, Block 329, Lot 83.1. This ordinance has been advertised pursuant to law and now calls for a public hearing.
Need a motion to open to the public, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims,
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia,
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Anybody from the public who'd like to speak to Resolution 397-20, Please unmute your device and give your name to the clerk.
Mayor, before anything, just want to put on the record that if this is adopted today, we will go out and we will advertise this to strictly the contiguous property owners to see if they'll put in a bid for that. And then we have a minimum reserve price. And if that's not met, then we would come back and let you know that if there's a bid, great. If not, then we would have to assess what we would do with this property. So I just thought you would want to know that. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know what the minimum bid is, Steve?
$50,000, sir. 50,000.
Okay. Where were we?
We need a motion to close to the public.
Motion to close to the public, please. Need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims,
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia,
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Need a motion to adopt the ordinance.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims,
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia,
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hackensack, County of Bergen, and State of New Jersey, that ordinance number 44-2020 has passed its second and final reading and is hereby adopted.
Thank you. Resolution 398-20. And before we start, I know a gentleman was questioning the shade tree issue tonight. Public comment on this will come with normal public comment. This is just an introduction of the ordinance, not an adoption. So you'll have to hold your comments until public session opens up. Go ahead, Deb.
This is an introduction of ordinance number 45-2020, an ordinance to amend chapter 42 of the Code of the City of Hackensack Shade Tree Advisory Committee to expedite the removal of diseased, decayed, or otherwise damaged trees within the city and to ensure prompt and efficient utility right-of-way tree maintenance.
Need a motion to adopt the resolution, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims,
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia,
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 45-2020 as introduced is now passed on first reading and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on November 9, 2020 at 7:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place, all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 399-20.
This is a resolution for the introduction of ordinance number 46-2020, an ordinance to amend chapter 119 of the Code of the City of Hackensack, Peace and Good Order, to prohibit urination and defecation in public places.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg, Deputy Mayor Canestrino,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims,
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia,
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye.
Be it resolved that the above ordinance being ordinance 46-2020 is introduced is now passed on first reading, and that said ordinance shall be considered for final passage at a meeting to be held on November 9, 2020 at 7:00 p.m. or soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the regular meeting place of the City Council, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance, and that the city clerk be and she is hereby authorized and directed to publish said ordinance according to law with a notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Thank you. Resolution 400-20.
This is a resolution authorizing tax refunds for county board judgments and paid in error.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Deb, do you want roll call or all in favor moving forward?
Steve, is it all right to do all in favor?
Run that by me again. Which one?
the mayor wanted to know if we could do all in favor, if I should do an individual roll call.
For
due to
which one?
Zoom. For all
Um,
of the ones going forward.
'Cause we're past the
I-
adoption introductions.
Yeah, I mean, my preference in all of these would be to have individual roll calls to the extent possible.
Okay.
I mean, I just think, under the circumstances, it probably for the record makes the most sense to do. I know it's a little bit more tedious, but I do recommend it.
Not a problem. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 401-20.
This is a resolution authorizing tax appeal attorney to settle the cases that are dated October 15th, 2020, that were scheduled for trial or settlement.
Need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 402-20.
This is a resolution adopting the agreement between the city of Hackensack and the Hackensack PBA Local 9A Supervisory Officers Association for the period January 1, 2019 through December 31, 2021.
Need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 403-20.
This is a resolution authorizing the cancellation of improvement authorization balance in the general capital fund.
Need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 404-20.
This is a resolution rescinding resolution 277-20, an emergency appropriation for local cash match assistance to firefighters grant.
Need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 405-20.
It's a resolution authorizing award of contract to DMR Architecture for Hackensack Life Science Zone Assessment.
Need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Was that 405 or 406, Deb?
That was 405. The next one is 406.
Resolution 406-20.
This is a resolution authorizing award of contract to Neglia Engineering Associates for engineering services, NJDOT grant Beach Street Road resurfacing drainage improvements project.
Need a motion, please.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Okay, before we go forward, resolution 407-20.
This is a resolution authorizing payment of bills.
Motion to pay the bills.
Offer.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Moving forward with the consent agenda, I do have a conflict on resolution 418-20. I need that pulled for a separate vote. Does anybody else have a conflict on the consent agenda? Okay, Deb?
I'm gonna just pull 418 out. All right. The following items are considered to be routine in nature and will be enacted in one motion. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of availability of funds. Any item requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda, and consent agenda items will be reflected in full in the minutes, including any exceptions and/or additions. The consent agenda consists of resolution 408-20 through 423-20, with the exception of 418-20. Resolution,
Sorry, we also should pull 42120 and 42220 because the declaration of a doctrine of necessity should be done in public and not as part of a consent agenda. When that comes up, I'll explain further.
Okay.
all right, so 21. Okay, so resolution 408-20 is a resolution authorizing leave of absence without pay for Luz Elena Alvarez, keyboarding clerk. Resolution 409-20 is a resolution authorizing a leave of absence without pay for Daniel J. Klima, sewer repair supervisor, DPW. Resolution 410-20 is a resolution authorizing the appointment of school crossing guards for period November 2, 2020 through June 20, 2021. Resolution 411-20 is a resolution authorizing the award of professional service agreement to Di Maria LLP for the auditor financial consultant. Resolution 412-20 is a resolution awarding professional service agreement to Neglia Engineering Associates for traffic engineer. Resolution 413-20 is a resolution awarding professional service agreement to Suburban Consulting Engineers for the engineer. Resolution 414-20 is a resolution awarding professional service agreement to Suburban Consulting Engineers for environmental engineer. Resolution 415-20 is a resolution awarding professional service agreement to Joseph Wenzel Esquire for public defender. Resolution 416-20 is a resolution awarding professional service agreement to Inglesino Webster Waisakali Taylor for redevelopment council. Resolution 417 is a resolution awarding professional service agreement to Inglesino Webster Waisakali Taylor for special litigation counsel. Resolution 419-20 is a resolution authorizing the mayor and council committee of the whole and regular 2021 meeting schedule, to which all dates and times are subject to change. Resolution 420-20 is a resolution establishing certain procedures for remote public city council meetings. And resolution 423-20 is a resolution authorizing reappointment of special officers class 1 for the 2021 calendar year. So now we need a motion for the consent agenda.
Need a motion to adopt the consent agenda as it was read.
Offer.
Second,
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Okay, resolution 418-20.
This is a resolution authorizing a raffle license for Hackensack University Medical Center Foundation.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second,
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
I abstain. Okay, Steve?
Mayor, sorry, just being on mute so no ambient noise comes in. Yes. So again, we have resolution 421-20 and 422-20. This relates to an agreement with the Hackensack Public School District regarding the provision of security staff for the school system, class 3 special law enforcement officers and school resource officers. We've done this before, but I do believe it's appropriate whenever you declare the doctrine of necessity that it be done openly and publicly so that the members of the public can fully understand the circumstances, which is that 3 members of the city council, because of work or family relationships, have a conflict with the Hackensack Public School District. That constitutes a majority of the city council. So the city council would not be able to adopt any legislation without declaring the doctrine of necessity, which essentially advises the public that we need to take this action in order to engage in important government business. In this case, there is clearly a pressing public need for action. Certainly, school security is of deep concern to everyone in the community. No alternative forum can address this matter, and the city council cannot act without the members in conflict taking part in this vote. So for those reasons, and to avoid, and for those reasons, and to avoid, any allegation that the city council was hiding anything from the public in taking this action, I would recommend that you adopt this resolution to declare that necessity exists. And when you do that, then you will cast your vote on Resolution 42220, putting this issue on the table for the public to be aware of. So that's why we're doing it this way. And as I said before, every other time we've done this, we've made this public announcement so that the public understands why you're casting a vote if they know you might have some relationship with the school system.
Okay, so we'll start with Resolution 421-20, which is invoking of necessity.
Resolution invoking the doctrine of necessity to allow the city council to act on Resolution 422-20, which will authorize the city of Hackensack to amend an existing shared service agreement with the Hackensack Public School District to provide school resource officers for the additional provision of Class 3 special law enforcement officers.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Now Resolution 422-20.
This is a resolution approving amendment to the existing shared services agreement between the city of Hackensack and the Hackensack Public School District for the provision of school resource officers with respect to the additional provision of Class 3 special law enforcement officers.
Need a motion, please?
Offer.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Resolution 423-20.
That one we did, that was part of the consent agenda. So we're done.
Yep, I turned it off. Went to the page. Okay, need a motion to open to the public, please.
Diego, ready? We were going to try that, John? No.
Yeah, Diego.
Right. With that?
Yes, let me try it, please.
Yeah. I'll tell you if it's working.
All right, let me know if you hear it.
Yes, we hear it.
Hello, this is Mayor John LaBrosse, and I want to welcome you to our first Hackensack Progress Report video. The City Council and I will be discussing many of the ways that our community is moving forward on important issues that I know residents are interested in. From our downtown redevelopment plan, to the major improvements we've made to our parks and recreation facilities, to significant improvements to our roads and infrastructure, and much more. Hackensack's motto is a city in motion, and that has never been as appropriate as it is right now. We have so many major projects in motion that we want residents to be aware of, and you will hear much more on those issues soon. As we know, the past few months have been an incredibly difficult time for our city and for the whole country, as we have dealt with the COVID-19 crisis. I saw it up close every day working at Hackensack University Medical Center, which became one of the epicenters where doctors and nurses worked heroically day after day to save people. I could not be more proud of the work they did, along with our first responders and especially the residents of Hackensack, who are continuing to make the sacrifices needed to keep us all safe. The city is working to continue enforcing social distancing rules while also doing what we can to support our local businesses, like allowing more outdoor dining and supporting our residents by helping them apply to relief programs. While COVID-19 has certainly been our main concern, it's not the only issue facing our city. Recently, the nationwide protests sparked by the death of George Floyd have sparked a movement to closely examine how our police departments operate and the relationships between officers and residents. I'm happy to say that the Hackensack Police Department use of force numbers have declined over the last 4 years, and we continue to work hard to keep those numbers going down. I want all Hackensack residents to know that we want everyone who makes up our diverse city, no matter your race, age, background, or any other factor, we want to work with you to make our community the best it can be. From revitalizing our downtown and making our city a destination, to improving our parks and public spaces, to investing in our future with smart improvements, to reducing the property tax burden on residents, we are here working hard for all of us. Thanks for watching Hackensack's first video progress report.
The city of Hackensack is committed to providing better service to its residents. Our police and fire department have made significant equipment improvements in the last year to better protect our residents and to keep our police, fire, and citizens safe. Both the police and fire department upgraded their radio systems. The fire department purchased a new heavy-duty rescue truck, thermal imaging cameras, and a Petzl, a confined space safety system that allows firefighters to safely jump out of dangerous buildings and other precarious situations. The police department purchased new tasers as part of the department's policy on using non-lethal force. Additionally, we have purchased a license plate sign reader, a security camera system in Carver Park, a new vac truck, and a state-of-the-art street sweeper called an Elgin Pelican that will ensure our city streets and parks are kept safe and clean. The city also purchased a replacement pump in the Mercer Street sewer system and 6 new parking enforcement vehicles for the parking enforcement officers. Altogether, these equipment upgrades will enhance our city services through better performance, safety, and quality.
Redeveloping our downtown area is one of our administration's highest priorities. Since taking office, we have worked to attract new investment to our city by offering targeted incentives to developers, reducing administrative red tape, and updating our zoning rules to encourage more walkable, mixed-use development along Main Street. The result is $1 billion in new real estate investment in Hackensack. And that means millions of dollars in new annual tax revenue that is helping us reduce property taxes on longtime residents and invest in city services. Many of these development projects were made possible by using payment in lieu of tax agreements, commonly known as pilots, without which we could not have attracted the kind of investments in our city that we are now seeing. There is a lot of misinformation out there about these pilot agreements that we feel it is important to clear up. First, residents should know that under a pilot agreement, the development still pays taxes to the city. In fact, by law, the amount paid to the city must be more than the land was paying prior to the development. The payments are negotiated over a 5, 10, 20, or 30-year period and are on a set schedule, which helps developers get the financing they need to build their projects. Every one of these developments is adding new tax revenue to the city. Take, for instance, this building on State and Warren. Before it was built, the property paid $78,000 per year. Now, under the pilot, it is paying $539,274 per year, an increase of approximately 600%. The largest current project in the city, at 150 Main Street, has a similar story. Previously, the property paid $237,000, and now it will pay $844,000 once it opens next year. Some of the projects are even being built on land that previously paid zero in property taxes. For instance, this development at 240 Main Street is now generating $277,425 in annual tax revenue after paying nothing before development. Recently opened 18 East Camden was only paying $56,000 in taxes, and we are projecting over $700,000 in a pilot payment. In total, we are projecting an annual increase of nearly $7 million in new tax revenue from our current projects. In addition to creating jobs and reviving Main Street with thousands of new residents and many new local businesses, the primary benefit of redevelopment is the tax revenue. It allows the city to invest in important priorities, like providing a place for residents to enjoy the arts with our Hackensack Performing Arts Center. Plus, we are providing much-needed property tax relief to residents, thanks to new revenue from redevelopment and from the landmark agreement we reached with Hackensack University Medical Center for $4 million. We have reduced the property tax levy in each of the last 2 years and have a solid financial plan to continue lowering property taxes. That's the commitment that our city can continue to make, that we will protect our taxpayers, fund our services, and keep our city moving forward.
Hackensack is in the middle of a transformation, and it is an exciting time to be living here and raising children in our community. But while we are working hard on downtown redevelopment, we are also taking time to focus on the little things that make our city a better place for residents. One of those projects is our community garden, which was only started 2 years ago and has since become one of the most successful initiatives we have had. Residents love being able to plant and grow their own vegetables, flowers, and other plants, and having the opportunity to get closer to nature, right here in our backyard. We've watched this site grow and grow, and thanks to the dedicated volunteers who help keep it running, it has been a great success. We're also working to improve our existing parks, like the major renovations being done at Stuyde Park, that will include a new pavilion with new facilities. This work is being made possible thanks to a $100,000 grant from the County of Bergen, and we are always looking for these kinds of alternative funding sources to allow us to do more with less from our taxpayers. We are also making long-anticipated improvements to our baseball and softball fields at Fashini Park, including mitigating flooding, raising Field 7, and installing lighting on multiple fields.
Over the past several years, the City of Hackensack has made significant investment in our roads and sewer infrastructure. Less flooding, a cleaner environment, less damage to our cars, and better quality of life for all of us. Paving our streets and roads has been a major focus area for our team. Since 2014, we have dramatically increased our annual road repaving program, and we are now paving approximately 14 roads per year, with 70 total repaving roads in the last 5 years. We have worked systematically to address the streets most in need of improvement, and we have now covered the vast majority of our residential streets. One of the most significant projects we are working on is separating our sewer system to meet state and federal clean water mandates. While many other cities are struggling to complete this daunting task, Hackensack has worked proactively to make the process forward. The result is cleaner water in our surrounding areas and less of an impact in our city budget and on taxpayers. Besides our local streets, we also make a major investment in our downtown by converting both Main Street and State Street to two-way traffic. This is being done to encourage drivers to slow down when they are in our downtown area, making it safer for pedestrians and drawing more foot traffic and vehicle traffic to our local restaurants and business. When we complete the two-way conversion, we will complement the redevelopment project in the area and make Main Street a walkable destination.
Making sure our children and our residents have a safe place to play sports is a huge goal of this administration. We've invested in our parks and recreation facilities, and those investments are helping local kids stay healthy, active, and out of trouble. Last year, we completed a major renovation of our rec center on Holt Street. I grew up in this building, playing and coaching basketball, and I knew that it needed to be updated. I'm so proud of the job we did to make this kind of place our kids deserve. With brand new indoor basketball courts, community meeting rooms for our seniors, and much more. The Recreation Center is a place where people from multiple generations can come together and enjoy themselves. As an elected official, nothing makes me prouder than being able to deliver this kind of progress. We've made other major investments in our parks, like the splash pad at Carver Park that gives local kids a place to cool off in the summer. Adding this kind of amenities help the whole neighborhood by giving kids a place they can walk to and enjoy all summer long. Another one of our main facility upgrades was at our beautiful Hackensack Performing Arts Center, or HACPAC. We took a Masonic temple, and thanks to the generous donations of many private sector partners and funding from the city, we created an outstanding performance space that is used by everything from nationally known musicians to community theater groups and much more. We believe the arts are an essential part of what makes Hackensack special, and HACPAC is the best example of that.
My name is Jim Mangan. I'm the Chief Financial Officer for the City of Hackensack, and I have been since February of 2014. In my opinion, the administration's greatest achievement has been in the area of financial reform, which is something we started in on early in the administration, back at the very, very beginning of 2014. What had happened then was when the new administration came in, they brought new financial professionals, tax appeal attorney, a new auditor, new CFO. And one of the things we learned was that the city had a tax appeal refund liability, a substantial one. It ended up being in excess of $40 million. And we were hit with that financial crisis very early on in the administration, which necessitated the need for a 5-year plan to address it. So that first 5-year plan, which encompassed from 2014 to 2018, was specifically designed to address the tax appeal refund liability issue. But what it did was it forced us to look for tax savings in other places. We had to raise taxes to pay off the liability, so it forced us to look to cut taxes any place else that we could. That meant that we had to look at everything: staff reductions, labor negotiations. What we had to do was we had to find new revenue. We had to overhaul our health benefit system. All these things were the first 5-year plan that we did. And in the course of that plan, while we were addressing the tax appeal refund issue, we were also addressing the tax assessment issue. And it forced us to also drive down the rate of tax increase. That plan culminated in 2018. We called it a success, and that's what led to the second 5-year plan, the property tax reduction plan. Now, in the first plan, we had gotten more efficient, and we were able to reduce the level of tax increases. So in the second 5-year plan, which was 2019 to 2023, the Finance Committee had directed us to eliminate tax increases. And right now we're in year 2 of that 5-year plan. So there was no municipal tax increase in 2019, no municipal tax increase in 2020. We're anticipating no municipal tax increase in 2021, although with COVID-19, truthfully, the jury is out. It's a challenge, but our plan is to meet that challenge. And likewise for 2022 and 2023. Now that second 5-year plan, the 5-year plan of financial reform, one of the areas where the first 5-year plan forced us to look at was the city's outstanding debt. And here's where this administration made a real break with the prior administration. The prior administration was reluctant to issue debt. Issue debt, means that you have to pay it back, which means you have to increase spending to pay it back, and you have to increase taxes to pay it back, and that's certainly understandable. But what we did in this administration was, instead of focusing on eliminating the debt, what we did was we focused on living within our means, our debt means. What that means is that we manage the debt. And our financial reform plan for debt management meant that we canceled as much as we could. We borrowed only what we needed. We sought other tools, other avenues for financing. We use the New Jersey iBank extensively. The iBank, is funding through the state of New Jersey, where 3/4 of what you borrow is interest-free. The 1/4 that has interest is issued through bonds issued by the iBank. They have a AAA rating, whereas the city has a AA2 credit rating. And by using the iBank, among the components of it, there's a principal forgiveness piece that we've taken advantage of. For our sewer separation, for example, in 2014, we're able to secure $1 million in principal forgiveness, which is very similar to a grant. We borrowed $4 million, but we're paying $3 million back. In 2019, we secured another $1 million in principal forgiveness. And right now in 2020, we've got an application pending, and we stand a very good chance of getting a $2 million principal forgiveness reduction in 2020. So as part of our debt management, what we did was we saw that we had to borrow money, okay, because the city's infrastructure was really suffering. But what we said was that we were going to manage the debt so that the repayments stayed within the existing debt service budget. Said another way, what we said was no new taxes for capital improvements. All of the improvements that we were making were going to be within the existing budget. We weren't going to raise the budget at all to pay this debt down. And that allowed us to then invest in a lot of the city's infrastructures. For example, 2014, we did our first road improvement program. And right now, if I had to guess, since 2014, we've probably resurfaced at least 75% of the roads in the city of Hackensack. I don't know the exact number, but that's my guess. In addition, we've been working on separating the sewers, where our sewers are combined. The sanitary waste combines with the stormwater, which causes flooding, among other things. And by separating the sewers, that does a number of things. Along with alleviating flooding, it also alleviates the sanitary waste flowing into the Hackensack River, which reduces the polluting of the Hackensack River. That's a huge undertaking, and we're working on that right now. In the area of flooding, it's not just separating the sewers, but also the stormwater system. We know that there are a lot of stormwater lines within the city that are just inadequate. They're just too small. Okay? We get a substantial rain, it floods. Those storm lines need to be replaced with larger lines. In addition to that, for example, a couple of years ago, our DPW department bought a sewer vac truck, okay? So that their job is to use that to keep the sewer lines as clean as possible, which also alleviates flooding. There are a lot of things that we had to do in terms of the city's infrastructure. For example, garbage trucks. The whole fleet was really outdated. We've been replacing garbage trucks. We've been refurbishing garbage trucks. Along the same lines, I remember in 2014, our fleet of police cars was in really bad shape. In 2014, we secured 22 police cars in just 1 year through a combination of purchasing and leasing. But that's how bad the fleet was. And also, in terms of our debt management component of the financial reform plan, we were able to update a number of facilities. We opened the Performing Arts Center. We renovated the M&M building. We put a lot of money into parks and playgrounds. We created the Atlantic Street Park, the Carver Street Splash Park. Right now, we're working on addressing the flooding conditions in Fashini Park, and we're also working on an overhaul of Johnson Park. And this is in addition to playground upgrades and things like that. Okay? These are all components of the same financial reform plan, the plan that allows us to reinvest in the city, okay, put forth more in services than we were able to do before, while simultaneously holding the line on taxes. Okay, as I said, no tax increase in 2019, none in 2020, and none foreseeable in 21, 22, or 23. Also, there was another part of the financial reform plan, the first part, where it forced us into efficiencies. What we had to do was, in order to offset the tax increase necessary for the tax appeal refund liability, we had to work with a smaller staff. And by working with a smaller staff, that forced departments to work more closely together than they ever had before. Definitely forced departments to communicate more than they ever had before. And that's worked out very well. That's created a lot of efficiencies for us. Now what we're doing is we're trying to take those efficiencies and we're trying to capitalize on them. For example, we're working on a lot more online services. We learned in COVID-19 that we've got a long way to go in terms of online services, a website that's interactive. A couple of years ago, we started the ability to pay your taxes with a credit card. That was followed up the following year with the ability to pay court fines with credit cards. And right now we're looking to expand that to rec programs, permits, fees, licenses, et cetera. And there's a number of areas like that that we're looking to in the future. Besides online services, things like digitalizing records management, or, as I said before, making the city website more interactive.
Thanks for watching Hackensack's first video progress report.
Okay, Diego, thank you so much.
Thank you, Diego.
Thank you, Diego.
Nice job, everybody. Okay.
Thank you to all the movie stars.
Yeah. I need a motion to open to the public, please.
Sorry, I'm muted. Over.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Aye.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Aye.
Mayor LaBrus.
Aye. Anybody from the public who'd like to speak, please unmute your device and give your name to the clerk, and you will have 3 minutes.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Ferrioli.
Yes, good evening. Yeah. I just wanted to briefly say that I was working today on Euclid Avenue and saw that the city employees were installing trees to local residents. And I just had a couple of questions that, based on the variety of trees that they're using, I didn't get close enough to see what the variety was, but there were a lot of trees that are installed in surrounding towns of Bergen County that unbeknownst to maybe the installers that work for the community, they don't realize the growth pattern of these trees, where they're planting certain trees where the life expectancies are only 15 to 25 years. And there are other trees that are accessible to the community for probably just as much or lesser cost since you're buying in bulk, such as sugar maples, sunset maples, that will last anywhere from 150 to 200 years and will provide, better shade, a better optic to a street, 20, 30, 40 years down the road. These flowering trees, such as cherry trees, plum trees, pear trees, they're a beautiful tree, but two problems you have with these trees is one, the life expectancy, which is a waste of money, and two, the maintenance of them. A lot of them growth patterns don't sustain themselves, where a pear tree will be top heavy. After 10, 20 years, it'll split. And you'll see a lot of that happening in storms, even moderate storms in the area in the wintertime. They'll split because the growth pattern, the trunk doesn't sustain the tree growth, the tree structure itself. So I think when the city they are doing a great job in beautifying the community, but when they do purchase these trees, they might want to consider the longevity and the growth pattern of these trees, where you don't want to put a tree under wires of a telephone line that's going to grow more vertical than horizontal. So there are a number of things I'd be willing to donate some of my time over the winter for that purpose if they would like. And also, I didn't realize that Hackensack had a community garden, and I'd like to donate some materials for maybe next year. I don't have time to, work there, but I would like to maybe, contribute, to get more people into, nature and beautifying the community.
Thank you, Mr. Ferrioli. And if you could give the city manager a call, because I'd be more than happy to have, or the city would be more than happy to have you working with our tree department, and maybe looking at what type of trees they're planting. So that would be a plus.
And even if I could just donate, even like my connections, that would be a helpful thing, just because I'm sure they're not buying 10, 12 trees at a time. I'm sure they're buying dozens and dozens of trees. That would be beneficial in the long run too. But I appreciate your time, and I'll give them a call tomorrow.
And Mr. Ferrioli, this is Leo Battaglia. I would love to see you in the tree advisory board, and that way we can use all your knowledge.
Okay, yeah, all right. I'll give you guys a call tomorrow.
Okay.
And we can discuss it at your leisure.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You have a good night.
Good night.
Next, please, from the audience, please unmute your device and give your name to the clerk.
Peter Marcazzani, Davis Avenue, Hackensack. I don't know whether we lost Dennis, but it was really nice to hear Dennis Ferrioli chime in on the tree situation. I noticed just sticking with that for a while, some of the trees, the fruit trees are really a problem because they do grow horizontally over the street. The street sweepers get whacked every time they go by. I had paid to have a tree put in front of my house, which has since been removed because of a gas main break, and we had to just take the tree out. And I told the city not to bother replacing it. But I had been pruning it myself, trying to take care of it, trying to get it to grow up rather than out over the road and over the sidewalk. But the ordinance actually that's in effect, I thought when I read it, I was surprised a while ago because it said, even though homeowners are not supposed to interfere with city trees, there's also, I think, I may have misread it, a paragraph that says caring for the trees by the residents is welcome. And I was pruning mine, trying to make sure it grew vertically rather than over the sidewalk, a little bit of fertilizer and so on and so forth. So I would hope that if the ordinance is going to be finalized, that something be done to say that homeowners are encouraged to take reasonable care of the trees located in the vicinity of their homes, even though they're on the city right of way. So that's one thing I would look forward to maybe having codified somehow without going overboard. I can see that the Shade Tree Commission is decimated. Some people are going to feel bad about it, but as I reread it, I can see that there was got to be frustration because the city couldn't do anything according to the ordinance unless it was approved by the Shade Tree Commission. And that obviously wasn't workable. That was just kind of silly. So I think we have to have some faith in the Public Works Department going forward that to do the right thing. The video is really wonderful. I don't want to use up too much of my time, but what are we going to do with this video? Is it just going to be on the website, or is there a way to get it distributed more?
We're looking at different options. Yes, it will be on the city website. We're looking at some other options, like some type of social media or something like that, but we haven't made a decision on that yet.
Okay, thanks, John. Kathy, between Kathy and Jim Mangan, I mean, the financial information is really wonderful. I mean, the people really have to be encouraged by what they see happening and the fact that it accrues to their benefit, not to their detriment. And Jim, aside from being a little bit long-winded on a video, there's a lot of young boys and girls out there saying, gee, I want to be a CFO for a major city when I grow up. So thank you very much for all your help. As one resident anyway, I really appreciate all you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Pete.
Next person from the public who would like to speak, please unmute your device and give your name to the clerk. Mr. Smith, you have to unmute your device. I see you trying to speak. Press a button on the screen and you'll see a little microphone. There you go. Try now. speak, Mr. Smith. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Now we can.
Martin Smith, 245 Prospect Avenue. I'd like to start my comments this evening by saying that I was gratified to see the recent resurfacing and relining of Prospect Avenue north of Passaic and south of Essex Street. It looks excellent and is a pleasure to drive on at this time. That being said, however, I was very disappointed in the fact that even though the equipment for relining was present on Prospect Avenue, no effort was made to install crosswalks on Prospect at Berry Street, Golf Place, American Legion, and Atlantic. The city council had been given information concerning these intersections on Prospect Avenue 28 months ago by our committee. No effort has been taken to address this issue. So Mayor LaBrose, if I may, can you give me any rational explanation for the apparent reluctance on the part of the city to address this situation at those intersections in question?
Can I say something, John?
Who's that, Leo?
Yes.
Go ahead, Leo.
Okay, I got the list from you, and you can see that we finished South Prospect, North Prospect, and I am working in the intersection because it's not that easy. Sometimes you got an intersection that's a T intersection, and you can have the ramp in one side, but you don't have no ramp in the other side. So no way that we can do the crosswalk. So I am working in that because you have to work with the traffic department. I got to talk to the city manager, and that way we can build the ramp in the other side, and then we will do the crosswalk. But I am working on it.
Yeah, but Mr. Battaglia,
Yes.
this information was in the hands of the council for 28 months.
In my hands, 30 days. Remember that you sent me the letter with the list of the street that you're looking for?
Yes.
And I went already with the contractor to look all the street that you mentioned.
Yes, I sent you a letter, but
Yes.
initially the information was in the hands of the council 28 months ago.
Okay. But sometimes it's no way that you're going to get the crosswalk in an area that, first of all, you have to consult with the traffic department, because if somebody get killed in one of these crosswalks, somebody going to look at the legality to put a crosswalk in the middle of the block.
It's not the, Mr. Please.
But sometimes it's an intersection, it's
Mr.
intersection
Battaglia,
that looks
it's
like
an
the middle of the block.
It's an intersection. It's not middle of the block. It took the mayor 15 months to finally agree with me that they were intersections. They're
But
not mid-block.
But I look few intersections that you look in the crosswalk that really you got like a ramp in one side of the street. Then when you look at the other side, it's no ramps. It's no way that you can put a crosswalk there. I got you at least. I am working on it.
Well, I hope I can see it in my lifetime because I'm not getting any younger.
Me too.
Well, let me speak. I'm not getting any younger, Mr. Smith, but I appreciate you bringing this up again. And there's many different issues. One of them, Leo mentions ramps, but they're ADA compatible crosswalks. We just can't put a crosswalk in without making it ADA compatible, which is a tremendous cost to the city. We have to get that into the budget. Budgets are a 2-year cycle. It's not just like, we're doing, Ted, what's an ADA crosswalk cost us?
It depends on the scale, but it could be at a bare minimum of $5,000. It could be as high as $20,000, depending the diversity and the issues and the conditions that it's in.
So my guess is about half of the areas we're talking about need ADA compatible crosswalk. You're looking at upwards of $50, $60, $80,000 in crosswalk money. Plus, we have to go out for grant money for that as well to try to save taxpayers' money. The other things is, yes, I agree with you, and I'm in favor of some of these crosswalks, especially at American Legion Drive, where there's a bus stop right there on the bridge.
I agree.
But it's got to be safe. The other thing said is, yes, it's an intersection, but there's only stop signs one way. And my point being is the crosswalk going across Prospect. All right, I got rear-ended by a vehicle going 40 miles an hour. And I'm stopped there with my blinker on and my brake lights on, right? Because he wasn't paying attention, all right? Whenever you cross the street without the aid of a signal device, you are taking your life in you're putting your life in the belief that that guy is going to see you and stop.
Yeah.
Mayor, excuse me.
Always.
Mayor, we
What you gonna
have
say?
hundreds of intersections with crosswalks that have no signals at them. So
I know
that's
that.
no excuse.
Okay.
It depends on the street. I can tell you, if I got $1 for every close call on Thompson and Prospect by the hospital, for every close call in one day, I could just about retire. There's so many close calls. We have 2 blinking lights, all right? We have a device in the middle of the street and stanchions on the edge to get people on to the crosswalk, and people still blow right past them without stopping.
Well, then we need stronger enforcement of
Mayor,
our
can I have a moment with this?
I'm sorry?
Mayor, can I have a moment with Mr. Smith here for one response? Mr. Smith,
yes.
I've listened to you for the last 28 months bring up all of these things. There's several ways that this problem can be attacked. The biggest problem is speeders. So I've worked with the Traffic Bureau and Councilman Battaglia. We have purchased 2 more Your Speed sign trailers that are going to be implemented. We just bought 10 brand new radars to put in these police cars. So we're going to attack this from the enforcement end of it. You, as a former traffic man, know that there are 3 ways: engineering, enforcement, education. So the first thing we do is going to get the public's attention by writing them a ticket, because that seems to get people's attention rather quickly, and then do a much better job on our schools, getting the kids to remind their moms and dads when they're driving to slow down, pay attention, follow the speed limit, make sure you wear your seatbelt, make sure you're seatbelted in. All of these factors need to be, but that education and that process doesn't occur overnight. But I have to tell you, we have our police department doing way more enforcement than they probably have done in years. And we're going to continue to add to that staff, because we're going to get people to slow down. And I can tell from my own personal experience that the enforcement component reduced, where I was the chief of police, 100 traffic accidents per year. So all those devices are great when you put those intersections and the lines in, but if the people are going to just speed down there and drive through the intersection, it's just more paint on a road, and it doesn't really solve the problem. So we both have our own opinion, and I respect yours. I'd like you to try it my way first. And if I'm wrong, I'll be the bigger man to admit that I was wrong. But so far, we seem to be getting much support from the public, who's addressing and putting and listening to, we're enforcing and not using speed bumps and other gadgets. We're just doing old-fashioned police work, which is going to get people to slow down.
You know, the problem also is that we have a variety of speed limits within the city of Hackensack. 25, 35. On Summit Avenue, south of Essex, we have 40-mile-an-hour speed limit in an area that's residential in nature on the side streets. Now, the only thing I can assume is that the crew that put that 40-mile-an-hour speed limit in must have been out for a liquid lunch that day. Because how could you put a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit on Summit Avenue? It makes no sense.
I'm
New
gonna
York
look into
City
that.
has 25 miles an hour speed limit on every street in the city, except on their periphery highways.
Maybe some section the county roads, they not really a city.
Well, then the county should do something about it.
We are in communications with the county on our roads, the repaving of county roads. Mr. Smith, I have to tell you, there is a lot going on behind the scenes that have not been made public, because the truth is we're trying to find a solution to a problem that's apparently faced this city for probably over a decade and then some. Thank you.
About 3 decades.
So my last thing is, do we have a timeline on this for Prospect Avenue? Maybe a year or 2 years, or?
Give me 3 weeks.
I would like to focus on American Legion Drive and that bus stop area if we could.
Yes, yes, yes.
Because that's a definite need for a crosswalk there. But if you need also got to have some type of signage to warn people that it's now a pedestrian crossing.
I will call Ted tomorrow and we're gonna work together on that.
Okay, I thank you for your time, Mayor. Thank you.
Welcome.
You're welcome, Mr.
Members.
Smith. Have a great- Next, please. Anybody from the public would like to speak, please unmute your device and give your name to the clerk.
Hi, Doug Garofalo. I'm a resident of Anderson Street.
Yes, sir.
And this actually to Mr. Ehrenberg, the city manager. I received a letter on my car on Saturday regarding residential parking stickers being considered for Anderson and Hamilton between Prospect and Summit. And I'm looking at the letter now. I believe I didn't realize that this may have been discussed at the COW meeting at 6. I see it says 6 p.m. I
Yes.
apologize. Would you just be able to give me a brief update of what was mentioned there?
I just need a minute to find it in my book. 1 second, sir.
There was discussion from a Anderson Street resident, all right, who is, you know, not against the residential sticker. He had a little bit of an issue with the Passaic Street people who have no parking on their street, but have 3 or 4 cars parking locally on other streets and leaving their cars there for days in and days out. That's one of the things that came up. But then somebody from Passaic Street came up with the dilemma that, you know, they do not have any available parking, and where do they park their cars when they have 3 or 4 cars in their family? So it's something that the city is going to table and the city council will discuss along with traffic and city manager, see what kind of resolution we can come up with. But parking issues like that are never easy because when these buildings are built, not everybody had as many cars, or you have young adults that drive. So all these things change, it goes in cycles. But that was some of the things that were discussed.
Right. We appreciate that because that's exactly what's happening in our section of Anderson Street. There was a car parked for 10 days on the street. Finally, and non-resident, Connecticut plates. And
really?
The traffic control car came around, saw it. They did receive a ticket. Someone came back and took the ticket off their windshield and put it in their car, took it with them. The car stayed exactly in front of 2 of our houses, the same spot for 10 days. Finally, yesterday, one of the officers came over, got a tow truck, and miraculously, the owner and her friend, I guess, pulled up and said, oh, she's been in the hospital. Sorry, we'll move it. Now the car is parked on the opposite side, closer to the top of Anderson Street towards Summit. And they'll probably sit there until it has to move for the street cleaning on that side and come back to our side. So we greatly appreciate whatever you can do. And we do understand that there is a problem with the apartments east of us on Anderson Street and Passaic Street.
Okay, Mayor, I found it. So, sir, respectfully, Hamilton Place between Summit Ave and Prospect Ave, Anderson Street between Summit Ave and Prospect Ave. Residential parking stickers are $5 per vehicle, and your license and registration must match your home address. Stickers will be available for purchase at the Hackensack Police Department located at 225 State Street. So what the city is attempting to do is meet the demands and the requests of the residents that live on those streets, that when they come home, they can't park in front of their own house or use their own driveway because they're blocked in. And unfortunately, in one sense, it's great for the homeowner that lives on those streets, but obviously as we reduce residential parking because of residential parking permits, that'll stop less people, but we're basically shifting the problem to the next street because eventually we're going to run out here because unfortunately there's not enough parking here. And one gentleman said, well, you just make everybody park in a driveway. Well, that would be fantastic. And I would do that in 10 seconds if every resident had parking. Then we have people that rent apartments knowing that there was never any parking and then basically come to the city and say, you got to find me a place to park. Unfortunately, no, that's not our responsibility. You knew when you rented that apartment at a reduced rate that there was no parking there, and you're going to have to find your own condition. But we are, sir, to try to take care of the residents who pay taxes, live on that street, and need to have the ability to enjoy their quality of life and their residence.
Okay, great. We really appreciate it.
One of the things one of the things you need to be made aware of, and we've had this issue before, is, once you have resident stickers, you got to be careful sometimes when you have visitors, because if they're parked on the street, if you have them over for an extended period of time, they too could be ticketed. So you have to realize, it's a double-edged sword, and that's happened in the past. We've gotten complaints on that, but I just wanted to make you aware of that. But we are going to meet and try to come up with some type of compromise or some type of idea on what we're going to do here. So appreciate your call, though.
But in case the person gonna be like a just overnight, an emergency, you always can call the police department, and the police department will take care of the problem, and they don't issue a ticket. But you have to call.
Yes.
Which that person who left that car there for 10 days should have done.
Oh, no, 10 days, no, I say overnight.
Yeah, I know, but
Overnight.
that person should have called and said, hey, this person's in the hospital.
Well, that one,
right.
They have to issue the emergency and case by case. Every case should be looked at.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
You're
Next
welcome.
person from the public, please unmute your device, give your in to the clerk. Hearing no one from the public, motion to close to the public.
Offer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed.
Mm.
Need a motion to close the meeting.
You gonna do council comments or no?
Go ahead, Steph.
Real quick, thank you for coming out. Just want to thank Mr. Ferrioli for his input in regards to the tree. That has been a discussion amongst the Environmental Commission. So it's nice to have another dedicated citizen. And just, I feel like we had a lot of good announcements tonight. We have things coming up such as the pumpkin carving, the Halloween booth through on Halloween, the Veterans Day ceremony on the 11th. Schools are scheduled to open back up on November 2nd for the hybrid scheduling, and our Slam Dunk the Junk events on November 13th and 14th. And it's just nice to kind of see some things going on and people, getting out there, but we have to remember to be careful and still social distance and wear your mask and just, watch the numbers, but, enjoy what we can. And, that's it. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you. Kath?
Thanks, Steph. I'd like to thank Bob Swade for putting together the video. I think he did a great job and got some great pictures and great video shots of the city. Just for the public's information, why we decided to do this, it came time again for us to do our newsletter. And, we kind of put our heads together and said, hey, everyone's stuck in the house these days. And, do they really want another piece of mail? They haven't been out. They haven't been seeing some of the changes in the city. Wouldn't it be great if we could find some way that we could, have that information live for folks so you could actually see it? And that's what prompted us to do this instead of sending out the video. So I hope everyone enjoyed it. I think that it was very comprehensive and really gave a good overview of what's been going on in the city, not only in the past few months, but kind of over the past couple of years as well. Thanks to Jim, our CFO, he really gave an exhaustive dissertation on the city finances and what's been going on with infrastructure. And, just as I always like to do, go over anything that's really significant on the docket tonight. And there are quite a few things sticking to that same theme that, yes, the city has been doing a lot of infrastructure improvements lately. So there's a couple of bond ordinance on here, and just to go over exactly what they are so folks know what we approved. One of them was for some real stormwater management projects. And, that's looking specifically at some of the places where we've been having these serious issues: South Newman Street, Hudson, the Polyfly Park area, South River, and Pine Street. And of course, as problems continue to come to the surface, we'll be adding that. But those specific areas, we feel we really need to get a better look at what's going on there and hopefully come up with some good solutions. And we're also doing some sanitary sewer work too. We're going to do some CCTV work and hopefully do some repairs. Again, looking at some of the problem areas where reports have been filed with the city, and hopefully we can, come to a much better solution for some of those issues. Then the other, which was actually the one that preceded this on the docket tonight, is, we're continuing with the paving. There was some talk about paving. I mean, we're looking at putting in over $2 million in paving again. And parks, Columbus Park is one of our parks that needs some updates. So there's funds in there for that. trees. We needed an aerial lift bucket truck, if I'm saying it correctly. And so that these trees could be trimmed and managed effectively. So we're buying one of those. And we need another street sweeper. We need to do the work and then keep the city streets clean as well. So there's funds in there for that. And, very exciting. We're looking and hoping to be able to purchase the Sears parking lot, the one that's across the street from the Sears building, but adjacent to Johnson Park. Folks don't realize that the city doesn't own that park. So that's something now that we really want to aggressively go out and pursue and try and purchase. So, those are the highlights of some of the infrastructure improvements. It's that time of the year where we're looking financially to see what needs to be done and prioritize it. So that's some of the things that were on the docket here tonight. As Steph mentioned, I hope to see some great pumpkin carvings and, get everyone out, get your children out, get them dressed up and put them in a car to go through this drive-through. I think it's the safest thing we can do right now. It still will be something fun, and I think the children will enjoy it and hope folks get out and take advantage of it. Thanks for participating tonight, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Dave?
Yesterday, the city we had our second coronavirus testing at the rec center. To me, it wasn't as big a turnout as the first time. Yesterday, we only had 250 people tested. In the last 2 weeks, our numbers have went up 52, which isn't good. One positive note is we've only had one death since July 25th, which is a good note. But folks, please, this virus is still out here, and it's not going away no time soon. So please continue to wear a mask, practice social distancing, wash your hands, please. Thank you. The Halloween drive-through in Fashini Park from 10 to 3, I believe it was. Excuse me? 10 to 3. I think it was a great idea. It gives the kids an avenue to drive through. They're going to be characters in the park, and at the end, you'll get a grab and go bag of candy. So we are doing our part. With heavy hearts, I'm a little bit upset. For the first time in decades, it's better be safe than sorry that Clinton Place won't be decorated. So we can thank God that, we're living on the side of caution. New Hope Baptist Church is showing a drive-in movie Halloween night, October 31st. They're going to be showing Black Panther. That starts at 6 o'clock. You got to register. School is opening up November 2nd. We're going virtual. Kids will be in school half a day. Let's continue to pray for our teachers in the district, the custodians, administration. We've had a couple of cases in the schools, and let us just keep praying. I want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. Have a great evening.
Thanks, Dave. Leo?
Well, the first thing I want to send back for putting this video together. This is something that I got in my head for a long time, and I think the residents will be happy to see how the city is progressing. And the police department continue doing an excellent job controlling drivers that really don't respect the speed limits in our city. We continue working in Main Street, and maybe in 2 months, we'll be maybe almost finished the conversion of Main Street 2 ways. Right now, they are working on both sides of the street because they had to finish the streetscape of the street. We had to put the benches, lampposts, and trees, and the whole 9 yards. Be safe, stay home. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, as mentioned, school's opening November 2nd. I know the kids are really dying to get back to school, and I think the teachers are going to actually are happy to see them back at school, because it's very hard being married to a teacher. I see how hard it is to virtually teach children. It's very, very, very hard. It's very hard for them to keep their attention span up with a on a computer or a device, and really having a teacher there to give them the attention that they need is quite important. So I'm glad to see them going back, but I'm also concerned. Working in the medical center, no one sees more than me how these cases are going up. 2 weeks ago, Hackensack University Medical Center had 5 cases, which was as low as it's been since mid-March. As of yesterday, we had 28 cases, right? Some of them critical. So the numbers are going up. As Deputy Mayor Sims mentioned, the city has gone up over 50 cases in the last, I don't know how many weeks, but it's spiking up. And thank God we've had maybe 1 death since July 22nd, I think. But, not to be taken lightly. This thing isn't going away anytime soon. And we need to pay attention. So wash your hands, wash them properly, wear a mask, wipe things down, pay attention to what you're doing. All right. You don't want to become lackadaisical or complacent with this virus, because it's the worst thing you could do. I want to thank Bob Swade, the video. I want to thank the council. Great job. I didn't know we were, I don't know which one's getting the Academy Award, but it was good acting there. Thank you. And Jim did a good job. One thing I want to tie together, Jim talked about all the ways we were paying for this by cutting corners here and doing this and doing that. But, Kathy also mentioned during her video presentation about the hospital and redevelopment, which plays a big part in how the city's moving forward financially. And she talked about a $7 million, it's $7 million in revenue once these projects come to fruition. That's a big number for a city to be able to do. And that's going to have a lot to do with going into paying for infrastructure stuff and things the city needs, plus keeping taxes low. So that's a big part of it as well. But it was a great job. It's a great idea. I agree with the fact that this is something that the people will watch. So we have to decide how we're going to get it out there. Obviously, be on the website, word of mouth. I know Leo would have some DVDs, but we've got to get it out there for people to see, because it's quite a nice little production. So with that, thank you everybody for tuning in tonight, and stay safe. Thank you. Need a motion to close the meeting.
Offer.
Need a second.
Second.
Roll call, or all in favor? Sorry.
Aye.
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 Thank you. See you in 2 weeks.
Good night.